Hat viewers, listen. At the start of your 4th turn, when you would get 8 Dawn, you do not get this effect because at the start of your turn, you do not have 8 Dawn.
Oh, that's so much worse. It's not like it doesn't kill him, but my god, that's very unfortunate. I will say that. What is good, homies? This is Chris from the Small Hat Crew, joined today by Small Hat Nick.
Hello.
Small Hat Manny.
Hey, everybody.
And recorded like 10 hours prior, immediately after I woke up, Small Hat Brandon.
That's me.
But anyway, with that being said, we'll go ahead and jump right into it. We'll start off with Jinbe, Green Leader, 5,000 power, Fishman Straw Hat Crew. End of your turn, if you have 6 cards or less in your hand, set up to 1 of your Fishman or Merfolk type character cards and up to 1 Dawn as active.
It seems to have a good effect, Jinbe does, but it's also a little bit restrictive. You need to keep control of your hand size. You can only play Fishman or Merfolk type characters. Well, not only, but for that ability.
Right.
Depending on what he gets, I hope he gets great stuff. I'm glad that we're finally getting a Jinbe leader. I hope that the art is sick for the alt art. It makes me believe that we're going to either get some events or his characters are going to do what like the green purple Doflamingo characters did, where like on opponent's attack, pay 1 Dawn to do something, or else the leader ability makes no sense. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. The fact that we're opening the 1 Dawn, I imagine our new Merfolk and Fishman cards have to be capitalizing on that in some kind of way.
Yeah.
Because if not, then like, what does he want us to do with it? Play like counter events?
Exactly.
Counter events have been events have been like the weakest part of One Piece since like OP03 maybe.
Yep.
So running them has always been a liability. For someone who'll be like contrarian in the comment section, of course there are cards like Red Rock and Gravity Blade, but like those are exceptions. And the fact that when you think of events, that those are like the 2 that everyone goes to every single time, it goes to show you just how like slim the pickings for meta relevant events are. Because outside of that, it's like counter events, and when it comes to counter events, it's just like Gum Gum Giant.
Okay.
I'm mostly,
I don't know why they made this leader Straw Hat. That's honestly the weirdest part to me. Is I can't think of a single green Straw Hat, and I don't even know if he was part of the crew at this point. But overall, I just don't think this leader is very good. Obviously, we haven't seen the support, but the support's going to be cut between him and another card another leader we're going to look at later. It's just, it's gonna, like every leader we ever look at, it's gonna rely heavily on whatever support we're going to see. Because right now, I don't think there's anything here that supports it.
I was gonna say, him being Straw Hat is, well, one, he is a Straw Hat. And then like the green archetype of Straw Hat is the film archetype, so there are green Straw Hats. I don't really think that's relevant though, considering his whole effect operates with Fishman and Merfolk anyway.
That's what I'm saying though, his whole effect is Fishman Merfolk. I didn't know why they made him Straw Hat as well. I just couldn't think of a reason why they did it.
Yeah, I think it's because Jinbe, I think they're trying to finally, I think we're going to like OP11 and every Straw Hat doesn't have a leader yet, so I think we definitely had to tackle Jinbe at some point. I guess now's as good a time as ever.
Which is funny because Blue Nami also isn't a Straw Hat.
Yeah, well, thankfully we have a blue Straw Hat. I guess we already have a blue Straw Hat who's never seen play, but we have a blue Straw Hat that's probably very playable later on in the video. But the one thing I don't really like about the Jinbe, and it's not a fair criticism just yet because like we haven't seen what his cards are going to be, but I really dislike that his leader ability is typed to Fishman and Merfolk, because I don't know, when I think green outside of like Bonnie and her supernova stuff, I also like to think like the film pack, like Straw Hats, and I don't know, it seems like he's probably not going to be playing Straw Hats, and I think that's kind of, because green doesn't have many good archetypes. It kind of just has film and supernova, so the Merfolk and Fishman are gonna have to be really good to change that.
Agreed.
And the film archetype is also just really weak. Like
Yeah.
Uta is fallen. She's fallen, like she does not exist anymore. She's disappeared. And then
Which
Bonnie
is crazy, something that draws you a card every single turn.
Yeah, and then we have Bonnie who was very meta relevant in OP08. In OP09, she's kind of falling off a little bit. She's still one of our top 10 most represented leaders, but the follow-up after like the first 3 or 4 is significant. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know how to feel about this leader. His support will obviously tell us whether or not he's worth it, but I don't know. Based on Bandai card design, I'm not too
Not getting your hopes up.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat. Yeah.
Nah, it's just one of those things where it's that like even now I can't even think of like a fishman that I care if he's restood if it's not a blocker. But even then, it's like, eh. I think the only redeeming part of this card, realistically, is the fact that is that you get to see a character and a Dawn. But even then, it's like you have to have 6 or less cards in hand to do so. And it's so what the leader is telling me is that if I'm in a position where I am trying to push my advantage on my opponent, I can't continue to do so. So I gotta stay in this like not vulnerable position, but this slightly vulnerable position where it's like for me to get my effect, my hand has to be low, and then if the concept is
low.
It's kind of low.
No, it's not. 6 is very, very, very doable. I think for the
6
most
is putting range.
majority of the game, your hand probably isn't even above 6 to begin with. You know, I think 6 is very reasonable.
I guess I'm so used to blue and purple now that I just have so many cards in my hand that like anything less than 8 is just blasphemy.
I think I hover around 6.
I can't think of good characters.
I think I hover around 6 instinctively because there's a while where we get to play around Isho, and then after that we start having to play around Pudding. So, not to mention playing Blurful Croc, I have to keep my hand, around 6 usually because leader abilities 4 cards, and then the 0 cost events, let you get away with 6. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't think this leader's like bad or anything. Again, he like his effect is entirely dependent upon an archetype we have yet to see. Merfolk and Fishman, like they exist, but like clearly they don't exist in any meaningful quantity. So with the bulk of whatever he's going to be restanding, we just have yet to see. I don't know. I think even if we did, I can't imagine anything I really care. Like restanding a character in general is, I guess, cool because it's one less character for your opponent to like go into and try to pull resources out of your hand and try to starve you and stuff like that. But I'm trying to remember, when is the last time that we have had like a leader that has had an impact on the meta whose leader ability hasn't been like impactful either on your turn or the opponent's turn, like done something very meaningful. Like he just restands a character on a Dawn. I don't know. Now he does open a Dawn, so maybe his character, maybe the Fishman will do something on the opponent's turn, but that makes you think about like the Doflamingo characters that do stuff on the opponent's turn and they just don't see play.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't really think he's it. Only time will tell. We'll have to wait to see what his cards do, but I don't know. I can't picture them giving like Jinbe insanely good green cards because it just does not happen. I don't think it's like ever really happened, right? That green's just gotten a lot of green cards. They usually get like one standout card at most every other 2 or 3 sets, and that's it. Like even look at Bonnie's like package. I think like maybe like three-ish of her cards are maybe newer. A lot of her package exists from like when the game came out. Like that's how little good green cards, Bandai gives them to play with. So yeah, I don't know. Anything before we move on to our next character?
I just think green is where blue used to be before, where like blue didn't have any support, and it's like and then blue players were begging Bandai to give them some love, and then they finally gave us the Dolphy support after like 9 sets. Now it's like green is like, can I get cards? And it's like, we'll think about it. Yeah,
they like Jinbe reminds me a lot of like Carrot. Like I don't think Carrot's bad. I think she exists. She's there. She's fine. And that's kind of how I look at Jinbe. I think he will exist. Yeah. With what we currently have to work with. But I guess with that being said, we'll move on to our next character, Shirahoshi. Shirahoshi also shares the whole Merfolk Fishman thing. So I guess this has to be a good archetype if they're gonna make 2 leaders lean on it. But we have Shirahoshi, green, yellow, 5 life, 5,000 power, Merfolk, and Fishman. So she's sharing types with Jinbe. This leader can attack. Okay. All right.
We're back on this bullshit.
Yeah. Activate main. Once per turn, you may rest one of your Dawn and flip the top card of your life face up. You may play from your hand up to 1 character card with the Sea King type or 1 Megalo character card with the cost equal to or less than the total Dawn on your board.
I don't like her at all.
No,
few reasons. One, it's not even So it looks like we're getting Merfolk or Fishman, people with Jinbe, or we're going with the current cards that we have, and then he'll just be a shit leader. And then she doesn't even play off of those. She plays off of Sea Kings or whatever this Megalo character is. She can't attack. Already,
yeah,
I mean,
Terror, that's bad. That's really bad.
One of the leaders with arguably the best leader ability on paper summons a 5-cost on turn 1. Or adds a life every single turn. The fact that he can't attack has stopped him from being a top tier leader. She has to flip the top card of her life face up. Do we know? Does that restrict it if it's already face up? Yeah, but I think the baby said reveal, right?
Oh, it was reveal. Yeah, reveal was what let them get away with it. So she wouldn't be able to flip a card once it's already flipped up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if I'm playing against her now, she has no ramp. You can only play a character with a cost equal to or less than the total Dawn on your board, which means you're not ramping, so you're not getting any bodies bigger than you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And if I just leave your top life face up, you have to use resources to flip it back down or gain a life before you can do your ability again. To me, that just screams, I can play around this leader all day.
Yeah, I guess the one thing I will give her is that while she can't play characters bigger than they should be, it looks like her leader ability wants her to be able to go wide, which I guess there is strength to that. But like you mentioned before, there was another leader whose strength was going wide, and that was Iceberg, and it didn't matter.
Iceberg and what's his name? Also, the one that I was referencing, Egghead. What?
Oh, Vegapunk.
Vegapunk. So
yeah, he also did go wide. That's right.
Yeah, and he's done some things, but the fact that he can't attack is what's been stopping him from being a top tier leader every single set.
I think even too, you look at a leader like Rebecca. Rebecca had a stage that let her attack characters. She basically gave all her guys rush. She had a Luffy that swung for like 13k twice with double attack. She had Kyros who was like, he just didn't die, you know? He was immortal kind of. Like
one of the best cards printed on paper for a 3-drop. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, he also like KO'd something too. Rebecca had so much going for her, and when she came to the West, and I was looking through her data like very, very recently because I want to do a video that I guess is going to touch on that a little bit. But once Rebecca came to the West, and she never won an event even once. And then people could like argue like that's because of Whitebeard, which is true to an extent. But however, you also have to look at like a leader that came out alongside her. Green Purple Dofi has over 50 tops in the same set in the West. So, and I think a big part of that obviously comes down to the fact that she cannot attack. You give her this insane package, but then you say she can't attack, and it just kills her. That's just kind of it. So, I don't know. I don't think she wants to be able to go wide and all that. But like we already said, some leaders already have tried to do that while not being able to attack, and it wasn't worth it. And then in addition to that, again, she can't attack, and she's doing it with the green and yellow color pool, and I don't think those are strong enough colors to warrant giving up your attack. Like at this point, I think if a leader can't attack, the leader's gonna have like purple as one of its colors, and like maybe red power or something. I don't. Yeah. Honestly, why not? Why is it not like? You can't attack.
Make it a little bit hard to take my leader's life, since it's harder for me to take your leader's life. Yeah, that's what it would take me to play a 5-life leader that can't attack.
Literally,
I need 6k power.
I can't capitalize on the 6,000 by hitting you with it. So like, why aren't the non-attacking leaders 6k? Make the opponent invest a Dawn. Make them do something. This is so. I was talking to Brandon about this leader earlier, and one of the things that we kept talking about was like, how Jinbe. How his deck's basically going to be entirely dependent upon cards coming out in the set alongside him, because like there's the only thing I think even worth running before then is like Kami, because she's the Fishman Searcher, and that is kind of it. If the Sea King and Megalo cards are green cards, they will be competing for the limited amount of green slots that OP11 will have to offer. So for Jinbei's sake, I hope that Sea Kings and Megalo are yellow, because Jinbe cannot afford to be losing card slots to Sea Kings and Megalo, which do nothing for him. It's gonna be very grim.
Bro, I'm so tired of Shirahoshi getting cards. I'm gonna keep it $150. Like,
Why?
I saw this and she keeps getting cards. Like, well, her cards keep taking up reprint slots. She got a championship card. It's just so many Shirahoshis, and now we have a leader of her.
Oh, I like it. I like it. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not against it. I'm not like.
She's gonna have a good altar. I already know that much.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I'm not against her being a leader at all. My only complaints when it comes to leaders is that, like, we have 2 black Luchis, 2 black Luffys. Luffy now has a purple combination with every color aside from yellow. All the Straw Hats don't have a leader, and this is OP11 at this point. Like, I don't know. Those are my ground. I have no qualms with Shirahoshi getting a leader since she doesn't already have one. If it had been like fucking Lucci again, if this was like Lucci's 3rd leader, Croc's 4th, I'd have a problem with it. But I have no problem.
You
with
would not have a problem with Croc.
I actually don't like the other 2 Crocs. Remember? I only like Purple Croc. Yeah, he is his own character. To me, he's not even like. He is his own character. Purple Croc and Purple Croc are 2 completely different characters. Purple's cringe, Purple's based. That's yeah.
Yeah, no, we're back on our bullshit of a leader who can't attack but has 5 life. And again, another one that's going to be entirely reliant on her support. He has an effect that reminds me of Kyros from EPO1, where you have to flip that life to get an effect. However, you're like, at least you have 5 life to play with this time, I guess. But
she runs a lot of Calgara.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna have to run cards that take your own life in order to, get rid of the life that you flipped up, or flip the life face back down with I forgot who the girl is from Just
Viola.
Viola.
Yeah.
But same thing. It's gonna live and die by her support,
Well,
whatever the shark does and whatever the fishermen do.
This is the way I see it. Like, I understand where you're coming with this Kyros thing, but I think she's better in the sense that because Kiro forces you to flip 2, so you're always on this on this thing of like, I need to have an extra one. Yeah. So like with this one, like, well, it's not just pudding, but let's say hypothetically, like I'm at 10 Dawn, right? I drop Yamato, I heal. I now have the face down Dawn. I now have one face down life to flip to play another big body. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, what I was gonna say was like Kyros and Pudding flipping 2. I think her flipping 1 is a lot better just because like you just let your opponent hit you, you pick it up, and now you're back to a face down card.
Yeah.
That's where I thought you were going with why.
Well, but that's another thing about it. But that's just like to the point of that, like it's easier to keep up her effect even in the late game than it is Kyros, because when you have Kyros and you're at 1 life, like you're never using the effect. Even if you have Viola or whatever other cards, you need to heal and then Viola, and then all your heals.
Pretend to know what Kyros gameplay looks like.
Well, like, like you
there's
have
like
to know
Papa Zero or something when he flips up 2 life.
He pops something. He can pop 5 for all I care. He can pop 5 for all I care, but he still has to flip 2.
Yeah, I don't know. If he pops 5, that might actually be pretty good. I cannot lie.
I was gonna say, we just saw a new card that pops 5, and it's absolutely busted.
True. And fittingly, it's Zeus. Oh
boy.
Oh,
damn near channel mascot. Boy. Yeah, fucking Zeus.
But this character is also gonna have that Calgara problem where, yeah, she gets to cheat out a character and flip up a life. That's cool, but she's cheating out a character who's equal to or less than your Dawn. So her ability is going to be dead a lot, I feel like, until she survives that later game.
I don't think that's Calgara's problem. I think Calgara's problem is just that he doesn't have shit worth cheating out. They give him a fucking vanilla. Like, I think with her getting Sea Kings, I imagine they're going to be big because they're Sea Kings. So I literally think
they have different effects.
Yeah, I expect them to have effects. I expect them to be big, and hopefully they're good, considering she cannot attack, and that has been bad time and time again. So
now,
they have
the Megalos, I think, are going to be her brothers.
No, isn't Megalo the name of the shark that she rode around in?
Yeah, is it? That is the name of the shark.
Oh, it's the name of the shark. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if on 10 Dawn, if she's going like play a 9 cost character, cheat out a 10 cost character, then there's something here.
Yeah.
But you know,
It's also a leader that can't attack and will have to survive to that end game stage to do that in the first place.
yeah, I will
Well, I
say if there
think
was
it's
ever a
fine,
color to
'cause
give
she
that
has
to,
her
though, it
sub
makes
as a-
sense she's
yeah.
yellow.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, she has a 1-drop searcher. Then she has the blocker version of herself that is essentially which is a very good blocker because
It
when they
is,
do
it's an
KO
extra
it,
life.
you heal
Yeah.
or it blocks. It does exactly what it's meant to
Yeah.
do, and you can search it now.
No, I agree.
I think her getting the late game isn't a problem.
Well, we don't.
I think
No.
the problem is ending games
Well,
because
I'd say a lot of yellow decks thrive in the late game, so I don't know. Like, I imagine, like, I do expect her maybe to have a weak mid or early game or whatever.
Yeah.
But I have to imagine, maybe, like, surely they give her, like, a Sea King that heals or something, all right? Surely she's healed. Like, even Calgara got, like, Nolan to heal him, so surely they're doing something to reward you for playing this character. Because, like, if you're cheating out vanillas, it's just not fucking worth it. You can't attack. Like,
I do think she's better than
cheat out the healer though either.
yeah.
well, no. I understand that. I'm just saying. Surely they have to give her cards that do heal her so that she can make it to her late game. You know.
Yeah.
There has to be a reason that she's half yellow.
I do think she's better than Jinbe though.
Ugh, I don't. It will entirely depend on what the fucking Seeking and like.
I think Megalo's gonna be a blocker.
Based on what are we basing this on? Based on what?
I base it on because remember in the well, I don't know if you remember in the show,
I do.
but in the show,
Bro, I tried
she
to
had
play
she had to hide inside of Megalo,
No, I remember.
and then Megalo was protecting her during like the war for a bit.
Luffy
What
was
if Megalo is 8-drop kid again? Like, you can't hit Shirahoshi without hitting me first.
Oh, that'd be cool.
No, but not. No, we don't need another
And you get to
8-drop
play it
kid,
for
man.
free?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? 8-drop kids barely do anything now.
What do you mean? Every green deck that exists has been devolving. Bonnie has gone back to 8-drop kid.
True.
To do
Lim,
what?
Lim,
Nothing. Exactly.
Lemon OP10 has devolved from ramping into Zero to ramping into Kid. Bro, every time a green deck is meta, sooner or later they find themselves back on Kid. I do not want Shirahoshi. If Shirahoshi's doing that same shit, I will cringe so fucking hard. Let a green leader do something different for once. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god.
The 2-drop Shirahoshi blocker would be great in this deck. The main thing is having no ramp, and then, I mean, depending on how wide she goes, but they need abilities that can get her cards in her hand. Oh shit, what is a yellow Shirahoshi?
There's the 5-cost one that draws 3 trashes too.
Oh, she's
There's
just a
the
mermaid.
blocker.
I'm like, you let me play that 5-drop Shirahoshi, the 5/0 that lets you draw 3 trash shoes for 1 Dawn, but no, it's a mermaid.
That blocker's also really good, right? Is that one also a mermaid?
Oh yeah, that one is Merfolk.
Ooh,
which
that's
won't
good at
work in
least.
this deck.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
that's right.
Exactly. It's like,
Oh my-
why split hairs there, right? Now my final like takeaways on her is I don't have high hopes at all, but I like when thinking about it, I don't think she'll do good. I guess like I want to have hope for her, right? Because I think
Yeah.
it would be kind of badass for Shirahoshi to start taking over the meta. That would just be kind of cool.
Brother, if Shirahoshi takes over the meta, I will be a
Bro.
Shirahoshi main.
Same. I would absolutely play this leader if she gets the right cards. I don't think it will happen, but if it does, I will be very happily wrong.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
That's where I think I kind of feel the same. I'm not too optimistic that it will happen.
That's what I'm looking for.
However, and let me say why I think that is, because I think like if she can cheat out like a 9-cost and a 10-cost in the same turn, massive,
Yeah.
right? But this is something that has also, we've talked about this in the past with like Iceberg. I mean not Iceberg, with Calgara. I was like, oh my god, Calgara can cheat out like a 9-cost or 10-cost character, and then they gave him like a 6-cost vanilla.
Yes.
And then we got the buggy. Oh my god, if he can cheat out a 10-cost, the 10-cost bottom decks itself. Like,
Yep.
it's like that is strong. That is strong in such an obvious way. Being able to cheat out a giant body for free is obviously strong.
There's
If
always
you can
a drawback though.
exactly, if you can read this card and like your first thought is like, no, she's good because she cheats out like a 9-cost character. It's like, if you've thought of that, so has Bandai, and Bandai's balanced around that. This would be the third time at minimum they've balanced around that. I can't imagine them not doing it this time. Maybe they will just because she can't attack. You know, and they maybe because we now have the history to show like non-attacking leaders are just shit. So So if there was ever a time to do it, it would be now. But if that doesn't happen, I think this is like a locals leader at best.
It would be very badass. So their 9 or 10 drop has to be the one that took Shank's arm. Spoiler.
Bro,
alert,
yes,
I
was gonna say the Wizards of the Coast. I think his name was the King of the Coast.
The Wizards of the Coast.
The Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, I think so. Bro, they have to make that the boss monster. It's the only
his
way.
His alt art has Shank's arm in his mouth.
Just dripping.
I would love for her to be like a hard like Rhett Shanks leader counter. And what if like her 10 drop, like it is the King of the Coast with Shanks' arm in his mouth, and he has like the effect of like Shanks leaders and characters cannot attack while this is on the board. I think that would be
funny as shit.
The Boa
Technically,
Luffy
Shanks like stared and it like, or he did his conqueror's hockey and it like goes away.
In it.
Yeah, exactly. Technically, like it would probably have an anti-Luffy effect because that man got destroyed by it.
Oh,
Shanks
you're
would
right.
Yeah,
it'd be like
but
the opposite
an
of the Boa.
anti-Luffy effect would be funny.
Literally, because like Bo's like I cannot attack Luffy. What if his thing was like, if he attacks a Luffy, restand this character?
If there's a Luffy on the board when it's played, it gets double attack banish. Boom.
Double attack banish unblockable. Double attack banish unblockable rush. There it is.
Unblockable, uncounterable. Easy.
Yes.
Claps.
Oh, you're just making a 5k at that point, right?
Yeah. Unblockable, uncounterable 5k. Boom.
Anything before we move on to our next leader?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, so I guess we move on, save the best for last. This is the leader I'm most excited for. I actually think I will probably play this leader. I think this would be like the 6th Luffy leader I played, because I started the game on Mono Red Luffy. I played Red Purple Luffy for a brief moment.
Okay.
I played Black Luffy for a little bit. I play Purple Luffy currently. I think like the only Luffy that has been meta that I've not played is Black Yellow. We have Monkey D. Luffy, Blue Purple, 3 life, 6,000 power. So we have the Red Purple stat line again. Straw Hat Crew. You may activate this effect at the start of your turn. If you have 8 or more Dawn, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 Straw Hat Crew type card, and add it to your hand. Then place the remaining cards at the top or bottom of your deck in any order.
This card's ridiculous.
Busted.
I think he's insane.
He is gas.
He's so fucking good. Oh my god. I think this leader has the potential to be insane.
I agree. I think this leader is going to heavily depend on what the meta is, personally. One, because it doesn't have built-in ramp. Like, technically, the Red Purple Luffy, I know it doesn't have the best built-in ramp, but it does have some built-in ramp.
Oh yeah, it does a
so
little
to get
bit.
to that 8 Dawn, you are relying on other cards. So early to mid-game, you're a vanilla 6k with 3 life. Which is a very vulnerable position to be in, especially in a aggressive meta like we currently have now, I feel. If you get to that 8 Dawn and you consistently have like 2 or more life at that point, 2 or the 3, I feel like this leader is going to start running away with games because you just fill your hand. You draw 2 cards every single turn.
So yes, you do draw 2, and I think that's insane.
Yeah, very good.
So I will say, okay. I'm glad you brought up like that one like brief like criticism that he does not have built-in ramp, because I was also thinking this because I've seen some people say like you could Sanji, and Sanji could like cheat out Luffy Taro, and then Luffy Taro could play like Sangoro or something. The reason that is such a strong play in Purple Luffy, it's not because it goes wide with big bodies, because obviously that is a strength, but the reason Purple Luffy is so strong, that play is so strong in Purple Luffy, is because he guaranteed every game can do it a turn sooner than he should be able to.
Exactly.
He can ramp on his own, and then that enables him to be able to drop those bodies while your opponent is still on like 5 or 6 Dawn. Like, he doesn't turn 3 every game no matter what. Whereas this leader, sure, cards that ramp do exist, like Bon Clay and stuff like that. But, one of the things about that is you have to see it, you know?
Yep.
And he needs to do this before 8 Dawn, so it's not like his leader ability helps you find the pieces to ramp. You have to have already been at 8 to even begin to do that. Not to mention, like, the cards that do ramp, I think there's only like one Straw Hat that ramps. I think it's Zorojuro.
I think so, yeah. I'm looking at it now.
So I think that's something he has going against him. Like, basically, you have to see, if you see the ramp, then sure, fine, everything's cool. But if you don't see the ramp, that does suck. Also, one of the things, like, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to play this leader. I like this leader. I have very high hopes for this leader, but I do think that is something that you do have to, like, account for. That, like, he's not always, there will be turns where, like, you'd be using this leader ability a turn later than he should be able to, just because he missed his ramp. Especially when we're playing cards like Zorojuro, because, like, imagine you play Zorojuro and you play like a Dofi, and then he just bounces your Zorojuro back to your hand, you know?
Exactly.
He just bounces it back, Lucci just pops it, like, so, that means you have to play cards like Bon Clay, and then I think the problem with, like, playing cards like, the reason I mentioned earlier that, like, there's only, like, one Straw Hat that ramps is because if you are playing ramp cards that aren't Zorojuro, that means you're playing non-Straw Hats. If you're playing non-Straw Hats, this leader ability now has the potential to start whiffing.
Yes. And that's what I think people have to look at and realize, like, with the current purple Straw Hats that are very strong, you're not going to be playing most of those. Like you said, the Luffy Taro, if you're doing that on 7 Dawn first, you didn't ramp to 7 Dawn, so it's just a normal play at that point.
Yeah.
And then you're not going to be playing the 4-drop 5k Frankie, because that's just a Dawn -2, which you get nothing back with this leader. You're not going to be playing those cards for the most part. Heck, even the 7-drop Sanji, you probably won't be playing in this deck. Now, I could be completely wrong. It depends on what his package gets. Preferably his blue package. Like, I would love to see this set come out with
Straw Hats.
Blue Straw Hat cards.
No, I agree.
That way, because if they just release more purple Straw Hat cards, purple Luffy's probably going to see more play than this. Like, you know, so I would love to see that. I like you said, I have high hopes for this leader, and if it gets the right package, this leader is going to be awesome. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But
some of the
with
things
what we have right now, I'd say it doesn't do much. Hopefully with the package we get.
So for me, I think even with the current cards, I think he is a good leader. I do think he is a bit high roll though.
Yeah.
In the regard that, like, you have to see ramp and stuff. Peppo, please stop it.
And they have to not kill your ramp, because even with Zorojuro, current meta, like, that shit gets bounced back, that shit gets popped by black, it's gone most of the time.
Yeah, one of the problems, because so basically the way I look at it also is because, like, the purple Straw Hat package, I think because it's so reliant, it's what makes it good is being able to ramp into it early is what makes it strong. Yeah. So I think that, like, if you don't, then that's why I say I think this leader's a bit high roll in that regard, because I part of me feels like because they are Straw Hats that maybe you do still have to play them, unfortunately. Otherwise, why are you playing this leader? Because I feel like this leader, I feel him being blue and having this ability, this tells me that they really want you to play 9-call Sanji. They really want him.
I forgot he's a Straw Hat. That's right.
Yeah, I feel like they really want you to be able to search out 9-call Sanji and then stack the top of your deck, and then Sanji cheat something out.
Oh, because it does put them at the top.
Yeah.
That's actually nutty for Sanji.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, like, Sanji cheating out the Luffy Taro, then the Luffy Taro cheating out something else, I think is huge.
Yo, that's a nuts play. God
bro,
dang.
It is. it really is. It's also why another big part about that is, like, Sanji, I think people for the longest time, we've been trying to figure out where Sanji goes, and for the longest time people thought it was Marco. I think this is Sanji's deck. Literally, this is a deck where, like, Sanji can cheat out the new 9-cost 10k rush Luffy, so he can just hit you for a 10k and draw a card.
And draw a card which you stacked at the top of your deck, so you're drawing a 2k.
And because you stacked also, he can also do something like Sanji cheat out 9-mom, and 9-mom put whatever you stacked in your life. Like, you manipulate that trigger.
Oh my god, he's the new queen on a 6K body.
Bro, that's what I was thinking too. Because literally, like, imagine going like Sanji cheat out Nine Mom put like Red Rock in your life. And the reason I say Red Rock is because this leader can search out Red Rock.
Now that you put it that way too, like if you think about it, let's say like the 9-drop Luffy. So at the start of your turn, you look at top 5, grab a 2K or something to your hand, right?
Yeah.
Then you get to play that Sanji, cheats out that 9K rush, which draws you another card which you sack, so you get another 2K or something similar in your hand. That's actually fucking nuts.
Bro, it is.
In one turn, you got out 2 9-drop bodies and 3 to 4K counter for blocking. That's actually wild.
And you're a 6K leader, so those 2Ks go so much further. Not to mention,
didn't even think about the Sanji play, dude. You might have just changed my whole perspective.
Bro, it's why I say like this leader. I think
Holy
I already think he can be good.
From my understanding, from reading the rules and everything like that,
right?
You cannot, if you opt to go second, this does not go off on your 4th turn.
Why would it not?
Because at the start of your turn, you're not at 6 dawn.
It's like Magic the Gathering, untap, upkeep, then draw. So it's untap is the start of your
So everyone, so I hope all y'all small hat viewers listen. At the start of your 4th turn, when you would get 8 dawn, you do not get this effect because at the start of your turn, you do not have 8 dawn.
Oh, that's so much worse. It's not like it doesn't kill him, but my god, that's very unfortunate. I will say that much.
I'm surprised you didn't realize that, Chris.
Had no reason to, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, no. Wow, that's kind of lame. I'm not gonna lie. Huh? Because it makes it a lot worse. Because like there are on average 3 to 4 turns where you're not even on 8 dawn, so you don't have a leader ability for 3 to 4 turns on average. And then it sounds like you don't even have one for our 5th turn. Once you finally do hit your 8 dawn, you're not getting the effect either. That's kind of sucks. I cannot lie.
Yeah. Like that was something where like a bunch of people at the shop today were like, "Manny, did you see a new leader?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Yo, bro, by turn 4 you do that." And I said, "No, you don't." They're like, "What?" I'm like, "No, you don't."
No,
they're like, "It says at the start of your turn." I go, "Yes, at the start of your turn, before you ramp, before you get your dog."
2 for turn.
Yeah, one of the things I think that this leader does, unfortunately, one of the things I really do dislike that he doesn't have the ramp built into him, and because for anyone who thinks any amount of criticism is saying that the leader's bad, I've been Blurple since day 1. I'm probably playing this leader, this who knows, but him not having the built-in ramp is kind of unfortunate because like Red Purple Luffy, for example, he can 7-drop Kid and refund that Dawn every single turn. He pretty much like. He plays with 11 Dawn. He always makes sure he has a Dawn open for his Gum Giant, stuff like that. Black Purple Luffy can kind of do that to an extent also. This is a leader where kind of like whatever the Dawn in front of you is, that's what you're playing with, and you do have to play down 1 Dawn if you do want to resolve Giant, and then if your opponent isn't playing to a Giant, you play down a Dawn that turn. So like he does have very real flaws. He's not a perfect leader by any means. Also, his strongest play people talk about of the Sanji into the this also just finding out the Sanji play being set back like an entire turn later is also very that's a pretty big hit to his like just consistency of that play. That's even a big part of the reason why I think there's even less reason to run 4 copies of it if you can't even resolve it. Like, oh my god, I saw the Sanji on 8, or I saw the Sanji, I'm on 9 Dawn. It's like, okay, well I can't even fucking do anything with it. So that's probably because you have plenty of time to find the Sanji and set it up. So I don't think you really do need to max out on 4. That is what we're doing, but yeah, I do think the fact that he can't consistently do a Luffy Taro play, just making an argument for like maybe he doesn't run it, because not only does he not consistently do it.
Well, you can still run it. You just
I was gonna say, well, you can consistently do it. Luffy Taro gets a lot less consistent. You have to remember, like, Purple Luffy already has a lot of games where he whiffs on seeing a Luffy or a Luffy Taro or a target, and he's drawing twice as many cards the entire game up to the turn 7. So that is another thing, a reason why, like, I imagine like if you run the Luffy Taro engine, I imagine it's strictly because they are Straw Hats. But I can see a lot of reasons why not to run the Luffy Taro engine, because again, there's just, I don't know, there's a lot of flaws. Like Luffy Taro, if you're not doing Luffy Taro on 7 Dawn, and it's not even on 7 Dawn, so realistically the reason it's strong is because with Purple Luffy, you're basically doing it on 5 Dawn. When you really think about it, that's why it's strong. You're doing Luffy Taro into Sangoro on 5 Dawn. If this leader is actually just doing it on 7 Dawn, that's not nearly as strong.
Yeah.
And then it's also, he won't as consistently find the pieces, because he's just reliant on Law Searcher, whereas Luffy Taro has leader ability and Law Searcher. So Luffy Taro gets a lot weaker in a deck like this. The one thing I do like about this deck, however, is in the late game, this is pretty much a leader that every single turn is able to dig for Gum Gum Giant. I also do like that he's sculpting his hand throughout the game, basically. He's always digging for us. Like, drawing 2 cards is actually crazy. He can always look for more 2Ks. If he doesn't have Giant, he can dig for Giant. You don't know how many times in Purple Luffy I play a Zoro Juro just to find a Giant. And he just does it. It doesn't cost him anything to do that. Like, that is huge.
I just think being able to search Red Hawk is actually meaningful.
Red Rock is
Red
really
Rock,
big.
my bad. Red Rock, my bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I do want to know I imagine we have to start getting blue Straw Hats. Like, hopefully, because the promo blue Straw Hats are so shit. They're actually just
really
so bad. The
Yeah.
fact every time we get a blue Straw Hat leader, the only card people think of is Sanji is terrible. Because there are no others. What?
No, you can play Blue Nami and one-drop Blue Nami to search for Giant. It searches for events.
Whoa. What about our Lord and Savior, Rush Usopp?
Doesn't it search an East Blue event?
I thought it just searches events when
Maybe
attacking.
it does. Who knows? But what were you saying, Manny?
Nah, but like our Lord and Savior, like Rush Usopp.
I did fuck you up that one time, I remember.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it.
It's because it was shit that it caught me off guard. Yeah, this is I'm very excited for this leader. I'm very, very excited for this leader. This leader is everything over the past 2 years. Everything I've tried to do with Purple Croc, he just does. Remember, man, you played into my most recent Purple Croc build. Straw Hat.
It was terrible.
It's Straw Straw Hat.
God, it's so bad.
No,
it's
it is
so
not
bad.
It's literally not. Okay.
Okay.
Straw Hat.
Hey, what was your locals record when you took it?
4-0. But anyway.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Bro,
yo.
this is a blue purple leader like Croc. He plays Straw Hats like I've been trying to do with Croc. He can run Gum Gum Giant, which I've wanted for Croc. This is the physical manifestation of everything I have wanted out of Croc for the last 2 years. Which is why I'm pretty sure no matter what happens, I'm probably playing this leader. Not to mention this leader just having this is a 6K leader that can search out counter and Giant. Bro, this leader is like immortal. Like, I don't know. This is one of the only things I do like about like Red Purple Luffy over this leader is like I don't think this leader can run 7-drop kit nearly as effectively as Red Purple Luffy. Like Red Purple Luffy
Sanji into it.
Yeah, but like the minus, basically every turn he's ramping
Oh yeah,
one. Yeah, right. The minus is pretty. It's so crazy because like he's literally just losing a Dawn off of Kid, whereas Kid is giving Red Purple Luffy an extra Dawn every turn basically. He's just giving him an extra active Dawn to play his turns out with. And Red Purple Luffy, basically the way you look at him is he's a 7K leader. This is a 6K leader. He just kind of is. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what people do with him. But I'm very excited for this leader. I will say that much. He's going to be
same. I was about to say this is probably the most interesting leader they've put out in a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know what comes close. Like this is. Man, I love me a 6K 3-life leader. I will say that. He's already been given everything he needs to succeed. And when the actual set comes out, who knows what else is coming out alongside him. God, I hope it's blue Straw Hats. I really do. I cannot lie.
What would be the one blue Straw Hat you wish he gets?
Like if you could theory craft a card right now.
Oh, it'd be so simple. I'd give him a 1-drop blue searcher. That's it. I'd give him a 1-drop blue searcher that searches for Straw Hats. I wouldn't go crazy. I wouldn't theory craft anything too insane. I literally would just want the added consistency of another searcher, and that is good enough for me. Let me dig 5 deep. Law's not enough.
I would just realistically give like a purple Straw Hat that cost I would give a purple straw hat that costs 1, but requires you to have 3 or more Dawn to ramp. And the reason I say that is because if you make it any higher than 1, then all the other purple decks just play it.
I feel like that's so short-sighted, though. Like, just to print just another purple straw hat, bro.
Well, no. All the other ones could be blue, but then, like, why are we giving blue cards at ramp?
Well, no, I don't think we are. I'm just saying, like, if you have the opportunity to, like, add a new straw hat into the mix, bro, it has to be a blue straw hat. It just has to be, bro. Literally, we have so many shitty blue straw hat leaders. We have promo blue Luffy. We have Sanji. We have Sanji Zoro.
I like how I'm getting ridiculed for my straw hat when yours is just a searcher.
Yeah, I mean it's needed.
Bro, it is. It literally is.
And so is the ramp.
I don't think it's needed. I think it.
You literally spent a whole like 5-minute tangent prior talking about how this card needs ramp.
No, well, that's what. No, I don't think it needs ramp. I just think that is one of the flaws. One of the things that he would have working against him. Like I was saying, like I already think this leader has everything he needs to succeed. Anything else will just be a cherry on top. But this is already a really good leader. I don't. Ramp would probably like patch that one hole he has, but yeah, I think if I was given the ability to just print one card, I'm gonna try to fix, because the purple straw hats are already eating so fucking good, bro. Like, look at they are doing just red purple Luffy, you're on black purple Luffy.
Yep.
They look, they're fine. They are a-okay. They're a-okay. And then you look at the blue straw, bro, none of them are good. Not even one. Not even one of them is good. They're also, maybe I'd make it like a blue top end straw hat, because one of Blue's other problems is they just have no fucking top end. Awesome. You know, that would be a buff for the blue straw hats. It'd also be a buff just for blue leaders in general, having something else worth playing. But yeah, I'd probably make like a Mihawk that's been adjusted for power creep. You know, maybe I'd print like a 9 cost that. Honestly, I would just power creep Mihawk. I'd make a 9 that bottoms a 9 and call it a day.
Honestly, true. I'm so OP11 Mihawk still tilts me to this day about not being able to remove 8-drop Kid.
Yeah. That's what I would do with that is what I would do with my one card. I would give every blue leader something they desperately need, because holy shit.
These leaders, if I had to rank them in how I think they'll perform against each other when this set comes out, I'd put Luffy at the top, followed ironically, just because I really hope it happens, Shirahoshi under him, and then Jinbe last. That's gonna be my official rating.
I think so too. Also, because like, I can't even picture Jinbe's leader ability being that great unless he's like restanding like a blocker, and even then, I don't think restanding a blocker is even like all that like crazy. To be honest, so like I don't know. For me, it's going to be, funnily enough, I don't know. Not only just because I think it'd be funny if it happened, but I do think her leader ability does allow for more silliness to happen. Jinbei's kind of cut and dry. Like he's gonna restand a guy in a Dawn. Shirahoshi, who knows what's gonna happen here? Like this is a non-attacking leader that's cheating out bodies. Again, we saw Vegapunk. We saw Iceberg, but with that history, the precedent that's been set, I feel like Bandai has to be aware that something has to be done about this to make her good. So I really do think she's a wild card. They gotta try really hard to make her good.
I also do feel like every set they come out with like at least 2 leaders that they just kind of know aren't like gonna be meta, like Carrot, for example. Like it can do stuff, but it's not gonna do stuff, you know what I mean?
No, I agree. I don't know if I already asked, but anything else before we close this one out?
No, I'm good.
OP11 looks good. It's unfortunate that we'll probably have it by the time I'm playing Gundam instead.
Facts.
With that being said, until next time, we'll see you guys.
Bye.
Later.
Deuces.